Satchakor life is.
It is now 7 a.m. and we make way for the morning watch with Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint. In the first watch, we have a learner driver education in schools, and in the second watch, we have Black History Month with Clinton Chisholm Rastafari beliefs. This is the morning watch.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, learner driver education in schools. And in the second watch, Rastafari beliefs and Black History Month with Clinton Chisholm. For our social media question, we ask, what difference will it make on our roads if we learn how to drive in high school? We're asking you to share your responses on Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's our quote.
All right, good morning, good morning. Today's I quote is an island quote, and it says, an island quote from Barbados, and it says, an eye full ain't a belly full. And this means seeing is different from having.
Good morning, Jokal.
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for asking. I'm good.
Yes. What does it mean again, that quote?
All right, it says seeing is different from having. So an eye full ain't a belly full.
Okay.
Interesting.
We need to unpack that when we have more time.
Definitely.
Interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. The first watch will be back after this break.
What is a budget? A budget is an estimate of total income and expenses over a period of time, such as a month or a week. You should review your budget often. You can make a budget for any project, business, or financial goal that you may have. This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
For 50 years, Under the Law has been helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. The program is brought to you on Tuesdays by the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Grow Smart, Eat Smart, and on Thursdays by the Office of the Children's Advocate, enforcing and protecting the rights and the best interests of all children in Jamaica. Under the Law at 6:20 a.m., 2:35, 6:45, and 9:10 p.m. on Love 101 FM.
Family growing?
Yeah, time to make a move. Turn down the music, man.
Need your own space?
Time to make a move.
Make your move with a mortgage from Sagicor Bank. Get an affordable interest rate, discount on home insurance, plus a $2 million line of credit that you can use to fix up, furnish, or add your own personal touch. Apply for your mortgage from Sagicor Bank and make your move. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Were you legally licensed to drive a vehicle by the time you were 17? Well, because of a school's initiative, a number of 17-year-olds over the space of 10 years have been eligible to take the learner driver's test to legally acquire a driver's license. Now, we hear about this driver's ed in schools in other countries, but in Jamaica? To discuss these and other related issues, we have online Mr. Raymond Treasure, principal of the York Castle High School, and Mr. Dante Matthews, education and information officer from the Island Traffic Authority. Good morning to you both.
Yes, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great, good to have you both. Let's dive into it. Let's drive into it. Mr. Treasure, when and why was this program instituted at York Castle?
Well, we actually started from about 2013. Every term I look at ways in which I can enrich the curriculum at York Castle.
Yeah.
And I was there thinking that we do a number of subjects in schools from time to time, but when you think about it, it is not necessarily preparing us for life.
Yes.
And I would have been looking at the U.S. curriculum to see what were some of the things that they do that we could introduce. And I looked at the curriculum that was offered in North Carolina and noticed that they were actually doing driver education in high schools. So I downloaded that curriculum and introduced it to the students in 2013 at the grade 9 level. Then we operated for some time until the government had rolled out the national standards curriculum, and because they had added so many subjects, I had to pull the driver ed from the grade 9 curriculum, and then it was introduced to the sixth formers in about 2016. And we were doing it with support from CAP, but of course the funding for CAP had dried up. So
and CAP is the acronym for?
Career Advancement Program. It was an initiative of the Ministry of Education at the time.
Yeah.
Where they were providing students with a skill. So we decided we would introduce driver education as a skill. And of course, the Ministry of Education would have heard about our initiative. And at some point, we had a session where a curriculum was developed by heart. So there's an NC TVET driver education module out there. So following those discussions, that curriculum was sent back to us, and we introduced it to the sixth formers via the CAP program. Of course, as I said, the CAP funding dried up, so we rolled the program into a club setting, and we were operating as a club. But then the pandemic came on, and so we were down to online school, as you know, so that would have been affected. But once we returned to face-to-face, we decided to introduce it now as a subject to the sixth formers who were interested. And that was when I sent the proposal to Island Traffic Authority requesting their support to roll it out as a proper program with the blessings of the Island Traffic Authority, where the students would be able to directly sit their provisional driver's license tests. And it, going forward after the 6 months, I would hope that we would be able to sit the test for the full driver's license. Of course, as a consequence of that collaboration, we will also access material from the Island Traffic Authority and technical support. I remember in the proposal to them, all of that would have been proposed, that we get technical support, even financial support if it becomes available, to ensure that this program is effectively delivered. Because for us, it is not just a facade. You say, you're doing this thing, but it's just to give the students some information. The hope is that at the end of 6 months, all the students who are part of this program will have both NC TVET certification in driver education. And by the way, NC also have a curriculum in commercial driving for those who are interested in operating commercial vehicles. So, as a consequence of that discussion, Island Traffic Authority came on board, and they have been supporting us. So you would have picked up that we were allowed to sit the driver education test.
And that's exactly where I want to segue now in terms of Mr. Matthews. Because, Mr. Matthews, how important are programs like these to the Island Traffic Authority? And can you tell us how many other schools have similar programs?
All right, so this program is very important because we have realized that, while the other subjects, math, English, science, those are very important, but also we want to ensure students understand some, skills that are necessary for life, because a lot of students, leave high school and even before they leave high school, they want to drive, they have parents with vehicles, they have cousins, other family members and friends with vehicles. We also realize that young people, based on statistics, account for the highest fatalities last year. And over 160 out of the 488 that we recorded last year. We also recognize that young people are the ones that tend to be engaged in distracted driving, excessive speeding, all of those things. So we try to ensure that students get equipped with the knowledge to traverse the roadways properly. Now, when Mr. Treasurer reached out to us, I thought that was a very good idea, because no other school, even though other schools may have a program similar, no other school has ever reached out to us to have that level of partnership or collaboration before. So we decided that this is a great initiative that we have to come on board. So we met with Mr. Treasurer and we discussed what we can do to help, and just whatever way we can provide information, materials, things like that. And I remember we journeyed to the school and we met with him first, and then we went back to have a session with the students. So we had an inspector from the Island Traffic Authority Examination Depot in St. Anne. He was there, and we had session on, we had a regular road safety, because, the road safety unit within the Ministry of Transport and Mining, Island Traffic Authority as well. We have an active education in schools program where we go to all levels, but this time we wanted to ramp it up in high school. So we went there and we did the regular road safety presentation talking about, distracted driving, road code in general, and motorcycle safety, vehicle safety, all of those things. But then we had another presentation on the learner's permit, the process for the learner's permit, the regulations surrounding the application and the use of that permit. And we also had the inspector that went through the road code. We had a session where we went through questions with them to test their knowledge and just to get them ready. And because this is groundbreaking, this is the first school to ever have students sit a road code test, because we decided that since they have this program already, to have the road code test to get the learner's permit would be like a final exam to test, what they have been learning over these years. And so we say, this is really groundbreaking, so we want to have a launch. And so we launched it in collaboration with the school on the 27th of January. We had the Minister of Transport there, we had the Minister of Education, the Member of Parliament, and it was in collaboration with their Founders Day service. So that was groundbreaking, and we had 37 students who sat the test on that day. And it was just a really, really great initiative. In terms of schools that have a similar program, I know of schools who have auto clubs, but I can't say how many have like the similar curriculum. But what we're realizing now is that since this launch, a lot of schools are reaching out to us now because they want to adapt this program. They want to have the Island Traffic Authority partner with them to take the test. We have been getting some emails, and what we're aiming to do now is to at least have each parish, a school in each parish, benefit from this while we try to roll it out some more. Because I think this sends a signal that, we believe in having our students equipped with knowledge from an early age. We want them to understand the road code, because what we don't want is, what we have realized is that some people, they only just maybe study the road code or just learn the information to pass the test, and that's it. But what we want is for them to learn, to pass the test also, but also to have a continuous learning program. And I think that's what York Castle has. So it's not that they just learn to pass the road code test to get the permit and that's it. But the program continues. They have a driving instructor there. They have different sessions. So
tell you what, Mr. Matthews, just stick a pin right there. You have so much to tell us. We're up on a break. We'll be right back.
Yo, bro, where I get for lunch?
Give me a second there. Wait, where you again?
Bro, it's not that deep. Me a pre something original. Something fresh every day like me.
See?
Something 100%.
Yeah!
Next level to awesome.
Great!
So tell me again, what's for lunch? Whopper!
You deserve it. Great taste, well done. More flavor, fresh Burger King. Best tasting burger under the sun.
You work hard to make Jamaica a first-class destination. Isn't it time you receive the 5-star benefits? Retire smarter with the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme, a portable plan that also provides your family with financial security in case of your untimely death. It's easy, affordable, and accessible online. Retire and relax with the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme. Visit twps.myguardiangroup.com or call 876-927-4105. Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in this, the first watch, we have been discussing the whole matter of learner-driver education in schools. Yes, in schools. And in so doing, we have online Mr. Dante Matthews, Education and Information Officer at the Island Traffic Authority, and Mr. Raymond Treasure, Principal of the York Castle High School. Before the break, Mr. Matthews, you were explaining to us what's going on in terms of the other schools and what you hope to happen.
Yes. Yeah, man. So I was mentioning that a lot of schools have a drive, like an auto club or a road safety club or something of the sort. So they are reaching out to us just to have us, even before they do the learner's test, they want us to come in and talk with the students about road safety, vehicle safety, the road code, get them equipped with the knowledge so that, the possibility of having them do the road code test to get the learner's permit can become a reality. Now, as I was mentioning that York Castle, their program doesn't just stop at them doing the learner's permit and that's it. They have a continuous program. So they have a driving instructor. So I'm sure they'll be continuing the lessons and engaging the students in different aspects of the road code. And that's what we want, because what we're realizing is that some people are only just studying to pass the road code test so they can just get the learners and that's it. And that's not what we want. We don't want them to just pass the test and just forget all about the road code. We want them to have the knowledge that, goes further. And that's what we're aiming for. And I'm actually happy that St. Anne, York Castle is actually the first school, because when we look at the fatalities for last year, we realize that when it comes to private motor vehicle crashes, St. Anne recorded the highest motor vehicle crashes, private motor vehicle crashes last year. So I'm really thrilled that, the first school to have that was actually from St. Anne.
Yes. Mr. Treasure, it all sounds so wonderful. 37 students. How were they selected or determined? And can you also tell us, Mr. Treasure, some of the challenges that you faced, the school has faced in implementing this program?
Well, they were given a free choice. Of course, we have only one teacher. We would have loved in a way to offer it to all sixth formers, but it was also based on their curriculum choices. Many students probably could not fit in based on their subject choices, but they were given a free choice. We simply timetabled it, just like how we would timetable chemistry, physics, bio. We would have timetabled driver education as a subject. So,
and that was for how long? How long was that course? The entire year or what?
Yes, and it's a year-long course. Because as I said, after you get your provisional license, it takes another 6 months before you can get the other license, the official driver's license now. So as a consequence of that, you make it year long. The curriculum, as Mr. Matthews mentioned, would look at a range of issues relating to driving on the road. So it includes defensive driving, driving courtesy, the mechanics. All of those things would be a part of this curriculum. Right.
Yes, and based on what you're saying so far, no major challenges. It just went through.
It just drove
through easily.
The reality is we currently need an official car for the program. What has been happening is that the teachers have been using their personal vehicles to do the test on the road. To do the skills part of the program, driving skills part. Of course, we have a massive field, so we use the field, right, to drive around. In the past, what would happen is, and that is only 36 students who are actually doing this program, because remember that some would have gone ahead, yes, to get their own provisional license. It's just that we decided that we would roll that part in as well. So we probably have about 60 students who are currently doing this program at York Castle. Like our grade 13s who would have started out, they would have gone ahead to get their own license. Many students, as a consequence of this program, they are currently operating vehicles based on the fact that they would have achieved their driver's license.
Yes.
Based on going to the depot, doing the test, driving around, and the examiners certify them for the road. So in terms of challenges, we are always going to have a financial challenge because, as I said, we pay the instructors who do these things. That's one of the reasons why we had to stop the program after CAP funding dried up. We could not find the resources to pay an official instructor.
And you need at least one vehicle.
Yes.
So an SOS is being sent out to the car dealers out there, eh?
Yes, yes.
And they could also advertise the vehicle, have it fully, labeled and everything. Also?
You are right. You are right.
Yes,
That's it. And again, the next issue would be we need at this point funding, I think, to provide the students who are interested. Because as I said, the aim would be to get all the students to ensure that all the students get a driver's license after 6 months. To do that is that all our students would have access to vehicles at home and so on. So if we have the funding, we can also contract a few private operators, private driving instructors out there to put them on the road to ensure that they master the skills. Because you know, to get your driver's license these days, is, especially with the new regulations, it's a very rigid process.
Yes.
So you would want to ensure that you expose the students to all the conditions on the road, not just to have them driving around an off field. You want to put them out there. And to do that, you would need, for 40, 60 students, we would need to contract the services out to a private driving instructors.
Yes. Mr. Matthews,
yes, sir.
How different would you say were or are the lessons in the school that would make them safer drivers, the students safer drivers from that age, as opposed to, going to a driving school?
All right. I believe incorporating not only, because some people believe that, learning to drive or driving is just about pressing gas and then pressing brake and just turning the steering wheel and that's it. But it takes more than that. And as Mr. Treasure mentioned, the curriculum has different components that speak to defensive driving. We also have another curriculum that was that we developed with UNICEF recently. It's an adolescent learner driver curriculum that we've also shared with some schools that also looks at some really important issues such as drunk driving or intoxicated driving. That looks at the same defensive driving and some other issues.
The typical driving schools would not have those components.
Well, I'm not sure. I've not seen one of their curriculums. But I believe with the school now, they have a what would I call it now? A prolonged knowledge-based curriculum, I would say. I'm not sure how long the driving schools normally, or the different lessons that they have and what they use. Okay. And I don't know if all of them, because I know maybe one and two of them may just try to get the student ready for passing. You have some good ones out there who go beyond just getting the student ready for passing. But I believe with the schools, their attention is placed on so much more, and then
more
they can get the support.
Would you say? For
more comprehensive?
More comprehensive.
This curriculum would be a year-long curriculum that looks at not just, as you rightly said, driving skills and road code. You're looking at road courtesy. You're looking at what you do in case of an accident. So this would be like your food and nutrition. A lot of us will learn how to cook. We know how to cook and that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
But when you do food and nutrition as a subject, now you're exposed to way more things.
Way more.
Right, and this is what this curriculum does. You are exposed to a lot of things that you encounter on the roads, but a driving school would not be able to devote an entire year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because remember the learners
to a curriculum. That's what
the learner's permit lasts for 1 year, so they have to get you ready to get your license within that 1 year.
Yes. Well, you both of you gentlemen are now experts in the field, I would say. What words of advice do you have for schools that may be interested in starting their own programs going forward? Begin with you, Mr. Matthews.
All right. For me, I would recommend them to reach out to us also. We're willing to come to the schools and to talk with the students, share the curriculum that we have. As I mentioned, UNICEF. We're also sending it to the ministry because Minister Williams was at the launch and she expressed her interest in, having conversations and getting this program, rolled out in other schools. So for those who are interested or are listening, you're a principal, you're a teacher, you're a student, and you want this in your school, or you have an auto club or something, you can reach out to the Island Traffic Authority or Road Safety Unit by emailing dita@mtw.gov.jm or rsu@mtw.gov.jm, and just let's have a conversation because we want to ensure that our students are equipped with the knowledge, and just to reach out in general for materials or anything so that we can help the students, be better drivers or learner drivers.
Yeah. Mr. Treasurer, what would you say on that, especially in terms of the teachers, the ones who give the tuition in regards to the learners?
Right. Well, what has been happening, schools have been reaching out to us at York Castle, and we are certainly willing to help. What we need now to improve those who are delivering the subject is for maybe the Island Traffic Authority to organize a little course to certify the teachers who will be delivering the subject in our high schools. Because right now, I am lucky that I had a young man who got his certification in the United States.
So wouldn't NCT vet assist in that regard with the education
I'm not sure
model
if they would have that kind of curriculum at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, the curriculum that they have is one for students.
Okay.
What you want, I see in this current regulations that the driving instructors should be certified. Mm-hmm. I am not. I don't know. Maybe Grinnell Driving School. Not that I'm advertising them. Maybe they certify instructors, but there is a need at this point to certify instructors for the high schools. So some schools may have access to instructors, people who may have a commercial license and would be at a level where they can at least prepare students for private or general. But the thing to do going forward is to ensure that we have a pool of driving instructors out there that are certified by the Island Traffic Authority.
And of course, make sure you have a vehicle, right?
Yes.
And at least one vehicle, and also financial resources, eh?
Right. In my case, what is happening, as I said before, is that people are basically very excited about the program. So you'll have my past students reaching out to say, oh, we love what is happening. What can we do? Well, tell you what, gentlemen, we have to leave it here. We are totally out of time. But keep up the good work. We're so happy to hear about this. And,
Thank you very much.
Going forward, may just success for you all in that regard.
All right.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. All right.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
J&B Bank Small Business Loans. Tell us your business and let's turn your ambitions into reality. The time by J&B Bank Small Business Loans is
7:30 and 40 seconds.
Wayne, you know Flo Yardan Road now faster than ever?
Yeah, my brethren just get it.
Him love it, though.
Especially the 200 megabit speed and getting a Samsung tablet or phone for $999 plus GCT. You know you got the phone?
So, you coming home now?
Right after I pass the board.
There's never been a better time to get the invaluable value of Flow Yarden Road. Sign up and get fiber fast internet at home, unlimited social, YouTube, talk and text with just $4,999 plus GCT. And save big on a Samsung phone or tablet. Conditions apply.
They're full of life. You're full of love. They're carefree, you care more. That's why we created Child Protector, a critical illness insurance plan from Sagicor Life. It provides coverage for your child in the event of 15 critical illnesses, hospitalization benefits, life insurance, and investment benefits. So make sure your child can live life to the fullest. Apply for Sagicor Child Protector today.
It's Love 101's 30th anniversary under the theme 30 Years of Music, Family, and Love. The celebration has begun with the 30 Days of Love Challenge. Today is day 24, Tuesday, February 7. Here's your assignment. Sing a song for someone, regardless of your singing skills.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are really saying and doing. In the Gleaner, Haiti appoints council amid push to hold general elections. And also, loophole excuses. WHO officials accused of misconduct. In the Observer, 6-month project to remedy Mandeville traffic congestion begins. That's good. And then St. James Cabbies withdraw services. They want fines to be adjusted. In Loop, man believed to be of unsound mind, fatally shot by cops. Oh my. Well, those are some of the major stories in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. What difference will it make on our roads if we learn how to drive in high school? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and the YouTube channel. Love 101 FM Jamaica or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley.
I'm Jakal. I'm Victor.
I'm Chantel.
And we are
The Pulse Podcast.
You can find us every Saturday at 7 p.m. on Love 101 FM JA's YouTube channel.
Yes, 7 to 8 p.m. And ensure you follow us on social media, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at The Pulse Podcast JA.
The Pulse Podcast, your weekly source of authentic, Jamaican, faith-based, creative content and edutainment.
Keyboard culture, creative expressions engaged. This is the Pulse Podcast.
He knows my name.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the telephone counseling ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876 220-6474. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of global crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today. 876-220-6474. It's the telephone counseling ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church.
This is a reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
He knows my name.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Jokal for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answer today's question. What difference will it make on our roads if we learn how to drive in high school? Jokal, any responses?
Yes, so we do have some responses. Jeron from Spanish Town says, knowledge is key. And when you're equipped with same, you normally act in accordance. So it's a good initiative. Dion from Dublin Castle, St. Andrews says, good morning, panel. This program sounds good, but my nephew is not yet at sixth form. And boy, he is very well learned already. Please try to continue. It's very good. All right. Little Renee says, I think it's better, so we will know from early. And that's the last one I have here. Yes. So that's what I have for now.
All right. So positive responses so far, eh, Jokal?
And I wish I got this when I was in high school. Trust me.
You'd have been a better driver today?
Honestly.
All right. Great stuff. As we segue to the second watch, listeners, there'll be a book launch this weekend. And this launch is, of course, of a book entitled Rastafari Beliefs, written by none other than the Reverend Clinton Chisholm. It is a revised edition of his previous work called Revelations on Rastafari. And he says that this new book, Rastafari Beliefs, refutes popularly accepted false beliefs of the Rastafari movement and Christianity. It is considered a timely release for this year's Black History Month celebrations. And believe it or not, he's here to talk about it this morning. Good morning, my friend and brother.
Well, good morning, my beloved brother.
How are you doing?
Keeping well, thank God.
How are things in the US of A?
Well, where I am, it is a little bit too cold for me right now.
Come home, Clinton. Come back home.
Yes, like my friend Buka Maruka says, it's wrong to stay in a white man's country too long.
Oh boy! By the way, I some of our listeners may not know or may have forgotten that you are the first host of the Morning Watch. You remember that year that was Clinton?
Yeah, and I'm grateful to the new editor-in chief of the Gleaner for inviting me to be the first host on the program.
Of the Morning Watch. Okay.
Right.
Yes, you're welcome, and thanks so much for laying the foundation for us. We really appreciate it. Well, let's dive into it, Reverend Chisholm. Why did you write this book as a revised edition of your previous work on this subject?
I still believe our Lord's mandate should be taken seriously by Christians. While you're going, make disciples of every people group or every nation. You want to translate the Greek that way. And so I'm obeying him by providing material for those who love and care enough to share Jesus Christ with Rastafarians, that they would use my background material. Then His Imperial Majesty, I'm obeying him too. I'm going to read a statement. I hope my eyes can work to see it well. He opened the Berlin Congress in 1966 on evangelism, and he says, the love shown in Christ by our God to mankind should constrain all those who are followers and disciples of Christ to do all in our power to share the message of salvation and carry to those of our fellows for whom Christ our Savior was sacrificed, but who have not heard the good news. Christians, let us arise and seek to lead our brothers and sisters to our Savior Jesus Christ, who only can give life in its fullest sense, end quote. And it's in my book, and it's a Majesty statement. So I'm obeying those two, the mandate of our Lord and the strong suggestion of His Imperial Majesty.
So you're talking Haile Selassie?
Haile Selassie, yes, that's the same person.
And he's the one who made that statement? You just read a while ago?
Oh yeah, he's the one who made the statement, yes. It's on page 36 of my book.
Yes, yes.
I quote several of his statements from his public speeches to show that he was a person who regarded other than himself as God or Christ returned. And he was worshipping Almighty God through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Interesting stuff. Your book is entitled Rastafari Beliefs. You could have entitled it Rastafari Beliefs and Practices. Why just beliefs?
Well, the beliefs are foundational to practice. People don't always practice what they believe, but the foundational beliefs should suggest what the group, whether it's a Christian group, and some people regard Rastafari as a sect of Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
All of its major icons are Christian, and His Imperial Majesty was a Christian, a defender of the Christian faith in Ethiopia.
And it's good that you mentioned about Christianity, because I wanted to ask you as well, what's the relationship between Rastafari and Christianity? Because some people are not aware of the fact that they are deeply related.
Yeah, I share the view that Rastafari is a sect of Christianity. Not only because of the existence, I don't know if they still are there, I haven't kept abreast in recent times, of the 12 tribes, but generally, the icons of Rastafari movement are Christian. His Imperial Majesty, for some, not for all, God, the black man's God. The Bible, which His Imperial Majesty revered significantly, and asked a group in Ethiopia to translate the Amharic into English for the people there who want to continue to follow Christian traditions through the Bible. So there are links there.
Yes.
Just that they are forgotten or they have never been known.
The Rastafaris use the Bible, use the Christian Bible as
right.
the main source.
Even though they have problems in terms of Orthodox translation.
Yeah. And they believe that Jesus is what?
They believe that His Imperial Majesty is Jesus Christ on His second return.
Uh-huh. And so that's a major difference.
It's a major difference, yes.
Right. In terms of the book itself, I know I don't want to disclose too much, but walk us...
No, I can disclose as much as you want.
Walk us through the book. I mean, what can we expect from this book?
The book, there's 10 chapters and 6 appendices in the book, covering the major issues. I mean, Jesus Christ of Nazareth was not dreadlocks, as one chapter exposes through the writings of Mrs. Barbara Blake Hannah, suggesting that he was dreadlocks, and So the issue is, what should we take as provable material from the Rastafari belief system that would correspond with historical material that we can find here and elsewhere? These names and these titles are very important, but they are misunderstood by the average Rasta. Not by all, but by the average Rasta. Most of them, I would say, have misunderstood his names and his titles. And owing to English translation of the Ethiopic text from Ethiopia concerning His Imperial Majesty, things were spoken of the empire, the Christian empire, Ethiopia, have been misread and mistranslated into European languages as titles of his emperor. The abiding titles in going back to the 8th century of this era was elect of God, meaning the one chosen by God, and Nebuchadnezzar Nagas, king of the kings of Ethiopia, not the global king of kings and lord of lords as we find in Revelation, which is never a part of the imperial titles in Ethiopia. Never ever was any Ethiopian emperor called Lord of Lords or King of Kings of Ethiopia. That's Nebuchadnezzar in Ethiopic or Gades. So there are misunderstandings and misconceptions which my book tries to clarify. If you're going to witness to a Rasta, you need to know these facts and you'll only find them, it sounds arrogant, in my book. Nowhere else in print will you find the analysis that I provide concerning the belief system of the Rastafari movement.
Only in your book you're going to find that. I want to drill down on that comment a little bit more. We're up on a break. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Time on Love 101 is 7:45 and 20 seconds.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
Your taxes hold the key.
Let's get digital. Get online this March 15. File and pay your final income tax return for 2022 and estimated return for 2023. There are so many options. JamaicaTax.gov.jm, direct funds transfer, NCB online banking, and Scotia online and mobile app. Pay your taxes the digital way. All returns must be filed online and on time. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
It's Love 101's 30th anniversary under the theme 30 years of music, family, and love. The celebration has begun with the 30 Days of Love Challenge. Today is day 24, Tuesday, February 7. Here's your assignment. Sing a song for someone, regardless of your singing skills.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in the second watch, we are discussing this book that is written by the Reverend Clinton Chisholm, entitled Rastafari Beliefs, and we're doing it within the context of Black History Month. And so we have online the author himself, Reverend Chisholm. Tell us a little bit about more about the book. I mean, you're giving us a little peek into the book. What else can we expect?
Well, so let me just touch. I made a statement a while ago, which might be sound quite arrogant, but
no, I'm going to ask you about it after you respond. No, but
all right. One issue is that Rastas, and not only Rastas, but people who claim to be Afrocentrists, who are Bible-based, we'll see Song of Songs 1:5, I think it is. I am black and comely. Saying that Solomon, who is the author, if it was autobiographical, it need not be about him, but let's give the credence or not serious doubt to he was writing about himself. The problem with that is that the people who make the claim that Solomon was saying that he's black and comely are misguided. In Hebrew, the word black is shephorah. Any Hebrew word ending with AH is a female talking. So it's the bride, not the bridegroom in the song cycle, who is declaring, I am black and comely, rather than Solomon himself, if the book is autobiographical, and it need not be. So that's a shocker to many people. So the claim that Haile Selassie had unbroken links with Solomon and the Queen of Sheba has no validity, no support from any historical document except the cycle of legends and stories in the Kebernagast, the cycle of in Ethiopia, a very important document in Ethiopia about Ethiopian reality.
So just for clarity, is that a female who would have said that, right?
Yes, it's a female, not a male, because the word is Shevorah, feminine word.
All right, and then the King James would have said but comely.
Yeah, but is just one Hebrew consonant translated either legitimately as but or and. But we as black scholars prefer to use that verb as and rather than but, because it's not one positive and one negative thing. Two positive things. I am black positive, I am comely positive. That's what the bride declares herself.
And it's interesting. Anything else you want to tell us about the book as we peep into it?
The claim that there's an unbroken link between Haile Selassie and Solomon has serious missing links. The monarchy in Ethiopia collapsed in the 18th century and was revived only in the 19th century. So how do you prove the continuous link? And the Solomon, Queen of Sheba, issue that he had sex with the Queen of Sheba and gave birth to the first emperor of Ethiopia, who took the Ark of the Covenant from Jerusalem back to Ethiopia, where it is claimed it still is. That has serious historical problems. Major scholars, both white and non-white, would point out that the Ibn Hakim, so-called Menelik I, is mythical. Yeah. And even if he was real, he could not have survived death if he took the Ark of the Covenant of Jerusalem, because even the Levites in general could not handle it. Only the Kohathites among the Levites could handle it, and that by a piece of wood on their shoulder. Uzzah, when a mule or horse carrying the Ark slipped a little bit, he tried to protect the Ark by reaching out for it, and he was killed. So Menelik the First, if he existed, or Ibn Hakim, could not have survived death if he tried to handle the Ark and take it from Jerusalem to Ethiopia. Plus the timelines don't correspond. You know, Menelik the First at a certain time frame, and the 10th century readings of 9th century that the Ark was still in Jerusalem. It just does not compute.
Yeah, so you're obviously going to all of those details, intricate details in the book.
Yes, I'm fussy about details because one has to be careful. If you're propounding something, provide the careful evidence and the sources behind your evidence so that an objective observer can double check. And my book has been there, the first version from 2009. And I dare any Rasta at a scholarly level or at a popular level to challenge any of the claims that I make in my book. And that challenge is still open to anybody.
How you respond to those, Reverend Chisholm, who will say, so what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't, change the cost of bread. And the Rastafari movement has been around for years and, making inroads across the world. Over 1 million followers.
Yeah. But the fact is that we need to make sure that the claims that we're making for anything, for Christianity, for Baptist faith, for whoever or whatever, must have solid evidence behind it. You can't just propound something and you say it doesn't, so what? It does matter. Truth does matter. Fact does matter. So we have to make sure we are factual in the claims that we make for anybody or for anything. I chide Professor Rex Nettleford in his essay in Chanting Down Babylon. And by the way, another little blowing up my own trumpet, but the trumpet is solid.
Careful now.
I was the consulting editor for that major publication. People who will say there's nothing comparable to Chanting Down Babylon in terms of Rastafari works, but it's more descriptive rather than analytical.
Yeah.
So I raised an analytical question on Professor Rex Nettleford's essay in that book as the consulting editor. That's my job to do. Make sure what is in the book stands up to scrutiny of logic. And his essay was weak. If he submitted that to me in a university where I was, a lecturer, he would get a failing grade. As I said in my analysis, in I think it's appendix, either chapter 10. I think it's chapter 10 in my new book. Yeah, it was an appendix in the earlier version.
Earlier, you said, and I'm paraphrasing, that in your book, they'll find facts, information, stuff like that you won't find, elsewhere.
Right.
Yeah. How you respond to those who will say, but all I need to do is Google. I'm just going to go to Google and type in Rastafari beliefs.
Type in Rastafari beliefs and look at what any book that comes up claims. It is descriptive. It's not analytical. It's just describing the Rastafari movement's history, culture, contribution to Jamaican culture, unsurpassed, by the way, in terms of contribution to culture, making us at ease as black people. But there's no analysis of the belief systems at all. My book is the only one that dares to challenge the belief system. And I stand by that. Open to refutation, open to, debate on that.
Yes, well, listeners, you heard it from the man himself. This is Black History Month, Reverend Chisholm. What input and impact would you say that the Rastafari movement has had in Jamaica and the rest of the world in that regard?
In terms of culture, significant impact. They did not invent it, but to exploit and explore and develop the basic the basic beat of 4/4 time, which black people will clap like that here and abroad. Reggae has been very important in building a sense of appreciation for our cultural heritage. Christians are blasted if Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit are not in it, then they have no use for it. But as a trained musician, I say that's just nonsense. It's a foolish approach. Analyze cultural things. There are amoral things in our culture which we can lift up. If a song is talking about the benefits of being a Jamaican, it's a patriotic song. I would sing it in chapel, and I raised that question in chapel at JTS when I was a student there. A group from Israel were singing songs in praise of Israel. So we said, would we appreciate one more Jamaican gone abroad, one more disciple leave the ark? Would we allow that to be sung in chapel? And then you hear, I buy that, but nothing sensible come. Why not?
Yes.
A patriotic song in chapel about Jamaica is equal to a patriotic song sung by foreigners about Jerusalem or Israel.
Yes.
I analyze everything, maybe too much for some people, but that's just Clintonchism for you. So
it's interesting. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Essentially, Rastafari is leading street and lane everybody in terms of digging up the Jamaican culture and making us at ease in our blackness. I don't want to apologize to anybody. And again, I chide the intellectual giant now gone, from us, Reginald Ford, of calling people who don't dress in dashiki or wear any special outfit to show that they're African in orientation. Call them roast breadfruit. I despise that kind of a thing. I don't have to wear anything. I don't have to talk a certain way to be a proud Jamaican, to be proud of my Afrocentric roots. But I don't have to carry that as a label on my shoulder. And I don't deserve any disparaging name at all, like rose breadfruit or elsewhere outside of Jamaica, Oreo, a little.
Yes, Oreos. Yes. As you talk about blackness and reverenchism, there are those who opine that Rastafari is the black man's religion, while Christianity is a white man's religion. Your views on that?
People who talk like that don't have a clue historically of the origin of Christianity and the spread of Christianity from the Middle East. Originated in the Middle East. Christianity was in Ethiopia in the 4th century, accepted by the royal house then, and promoted as the central religion of the Ethiopian Empire from the 4th century of this era. Long before it broached anywhere that we could call European. Can't be called a white man religion, originated in the Middle East.
Is it because of our music many times and the images that people see of Jesus Christ as a white man?
Yes. Well, that might be a part of our problem. In my first book, A Matter of Principle, I said Christians should take down not just some, almost, every single so-called picture of Jesus that you have hanging in your chapel or in your house or wherever. Unless you want to put a large statement, this is an artistic impression, it is not a photograph.
As we wind down reverenchism, your book, the book launches this weekend. You want to tell us some more about
Friday
that?
At the Jamaica Theological Seminary in the chapel, and it's open to anybody, and the book will be sold there, and I'll be autographing the book. It's sold for 2,500 Jamaican. People who can't be there can get it on Amazon.
Yes, repeat the venue, please, and the time.
The venue, Jamaica Theological Seminary, 14 West Avenue, Constant Spring, Kingston 8. And it's 6 p.m. through to 7:30 p.m. And people who know me know I'm miserable about time, so don't try and come for 7 something and expect to catch a part. You'll see people walking out, driving out. But maybe you'll be able to buy a book because the people who are going to be managing the sale of the books might hang around to see anybody who comes later and needs to buy a copy of the book.
Yeah.
And the book will be available at our Jamaica Baptist Union bookstore right after the launch, and other places in Kingston, names are forgotten, but I know they definitely will be at Jamaica Baptist Union bookstore on the Boulevard.
Okay.
That's near to Boulevard Baptist Church.
Author, teacher, so many hats.
That problem Israel.
So many hats. The Reverend Clinton Chisholm, author of the book Rastafari Beliefs. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. And congrats on your new book.
Thanks a lot, too.
Great. Well,
Good.
listeners, Thank you for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we continue to set the stage for a discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information on how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and our guests. I'm Dylan Toussaint. Hand you back to Love in the Morning with Jokal. Jokal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you're supposed to sing a song to somebody, they say, for the challenge.
A bit later. Just stay tuned.
All right.